What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna be talking about movies. I saw Iron Lung, like, what's it called, a couple days ago. I low-key wanted to make a video about it, but I just didn't. I was focused on other projects, like you guys saw with the Peak Gaming. Very cool. But today I want to talk about movies. This is gonna be the topic of the episode. Starting off with the movie I saw recently that made me want to make the episode, Iron Lung, right? Now, Markiplier said not to spoil nothing, so I ain't gonna spoil nothing, because I saw it on premiere night. And, I just want to give people a chance to go see it still. But if you play the video game, you already know Iron Lung takes place in a submersible on a moon, because all life all life in that universe, or stars, I mean, and planetary figures, gone. All that's left are moons and space stations. Now, you're basically a prisoner captured by the Coalition of Iron, and you're sent to go explore one of these blood moons for potential research that help the people. So you get sent down there in what's called the Iron Lung. It's a really old submarine, and your only way of looking around in that blood ocean is with the camera in the back of the submarine. And so the main character, Simon, he goes around, he does his thing. I can't really spoil much, but it's pretty much a sci-fi horror, which I extremely recommend. I love sci-fi stuff, especially horror. And if you're like me, I mean, you've been watching my videos, so I think you guys should go check that out. This is a perf recommendation, 100%, 1000% recommended, cause I mean, Markiplier is one of the best YouTubers out there, and he made an independent film from a game he played 3 years ago. Come on, bro. And it was a good game too. It got 15 million views. I recommend 100%, 1000%. But I can't only talk about Iron Lung, especially because I can't spoil nothing. So I'm also going to talk about some other movies I saw. Like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. After I watched Monty Python, I wanted to make a video too, but that was just me being lazy. Yeah, I know. You guys can shame me, but it's cool. It's whatever. Monty Python. That movie was so freaking funny, bro. You have no idea. I mean, you probably do. The movie's old as hell, but shoot, where do I begin? So King Arthur goes around recruiting knights for his round table. And once he does, God speaks to him and tells him, "Yo, you gotta go find this Holy Grail." And he's like, "Bet. I am the king after all." So so King Arthur goes with his knights. They spread out. They go looking around. And they always encounter these French dudes, the Frenchmen. It's so funny. And a quarter of the way through the film, there's a historian talking about King Arthur. And then a random knight shows up and decapitates him. Bro, what are we doing? But turns out, throughout the film, it doesn't take place back during King Arthur's time. It's just this actor, and slowly all of his knights end up getting arrested. Until the end, where he finds out the Holy Grail is in the Frenchman's castle, where he was being bothered by them. So he somehow magically summons a bunch of knights, a ton of knights, and it looks like For Honor, right? It's pretty cool. And then they all start running down the hill to go invade the Frenchman's castle, and then the police show up and arrest King Arthur. I probably did a pretty poor job of explaining the film, but dude, I seriously recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. It was free on YouTube last time I checked. So if you guys ever use YouTube, which I mean I think you do. You guys watch my videos, right? You guys aren't pirating my content, right? You guys should go check it out. Go check out Monty Python. If you guys love comedies, I recommend it. And the third film that I watched recently was Drive, the Ryan Gosling film. Alright. I know you guys are gonna be like, man, who the hell does this guy think he is? And this is so, like, 2020 of you, Perf. But I just want to talk about the film itself. I don't want to talk about, like, the memes and stuff. The film Drive, wow, that was a good film. I got it on DVD. I know, I'm old. DVD? Ooh. The film was about this guy. He loved to drive cars. The film starts with Ryan Gosling's character being a getaway driver. I mean, he gets away, but the people he was paid to like help escape, not so much. They got arrested and they were in prison for a few months, which is important for later. But after that like opening scene, he ends up going and just living his life. He works at a mechanic shop, and like his boss is Bryan Cranston. You know Bryan Cranston, Walter White. Yeah, he works for Walter White, dude. This is where he's been for the past like 10 years of the show, ever since he went missing before he died. And so Bryan Cranston's character has connections to the mafia, or just some West Coast crime syndicate. And he ends up begging them for like a $400,000 loan, so that way, he can get a race car and participate in a race, or get Ryan Gosling's actor to participate in a race. That's just how confident he is that they're gonna make some money. You feel me? And uh, and so he ends up getting 300 grand. Two of the leaders end up going and meeting Ryan Gosling's character, and they're like, "Yo, we're in this together now. If you need me, you call me." Which is pretty ironic for what happens later. Now, throughout this time, Ryan Gosling's character kind of falls in love with this one chick who has like a kid. It's like, alright, pretty interesting, maybe something happened to the dad. Turns out the dad got arrested, and he's actually coming out soon. So we're like, whoa, homewrecker? What are we doing? But once the guy comes back, Ryan Gosling's character kind of just leaves them be, which is cool. He didn't know. And like over time, he actually befriends the husband, and actually helps him settle his debt that he got in prison. Good guy. And they end up robbing a pawn shop, but turns out the pawn shop was actually holding money for the East Coast Mafia. They were trying to bring a few million over to start up a crime syndicate on the West Coast, which would bring competition to the main family that I mentioned in the earlier parts of the film. So these guys end up manipulating Ryan Gosling and that husband to rob that store, and the husband got killed. So respectfully, Ryan's character is pissed. I would be too. Like, damn, I'm trying to help this guy out, and he gets shot, point blank. And then on the news, they said that nothing was stolen, and that the husband was the only person involved. Whoa. Now we're being evil here. Shit. So Ryan Gosling ends up, being respectfully pissed. He ends up interrogating the female that was with them, because she was with the guy that Ryan owed money. Or not Ryan, the husband. I mean, damn, she was kind of bad. But that's just that's a story for another time. But right after Ryan gets some information about this guy's real name, she gets her brains blown smooth off. Whoa. I mean, that ain't cool, bruh. That ain't cool. But it turns out there was two of them. One of them blew her brains out through the bathroom window and came in that way. Another guy was going in through the front door, which Ryan Gosling's character, super smart, threw a mattress on the door to block it, and ended up confronting the other guy that came in through the bathroom. He punched the shit out of him, blew his brains out, and then like any action movie, turns around and blows that guy's brains smooth off. Puts him on a t-shirt. You feel me? The other guy that came in. And then, respectfully, he gets even more pissed. He ends up going to the original guy that the husband owed money to, breaks his fingers in front of his girls, and forces him to call up the mobster. Now, if you guys remember earlier, Ryan Gosling's actor already met the mobsters, but they low-key didn't know that it was him. So they're on the phone together. Ryan Gosling low-key just wants to get out of this. He don't want no part in this. And I respect that 100%. So they end up finding a place to meet and all that. And like before Ryan goes to give back the money and get out of this, he takes the now widow for a walk. And they end up getting into an elevator with this guy. This guy was like, "Oh, oops, sorry, wrong floor." And so they're all three are in the elevator chilling. When Ryan Gosling's actor notices a gun, and he's like, "Oh, damn, that's the mobsters, ain't it?" So he turns around. He kisses the chick. What? She's a recent widow. What are we doing, bro? He's a homewrecker after all. And, fucking makes out with her for like a second, turns around, and caves this man's skull in. Which, high key, that widow is like shocked. I'd be shocked too if I saw that shit. And so, then, he goes, gets in his car, and he drives, right? The name of the movie, he drives. And he ends up going over to Bryan Cranston, and he's like, "Yo, why? Who did you tell, bro?" And that's when Bryan Cranston reveals that he told the other mob boss. And it's like, "Oh no, bro, now we're both cooked. You gotta get out of there. You better leave before they find you, because at that point you're not leaving." So then, he's like, all right, fine, I'll dip. We gotta get out of here anyways. It's chill, it's whatever. And as he's packing up his workshop, right, the little garage, the mechanic place, the other mob boss shows up and talks to him, to where like Bryan Cranston starts apologizing. He's like, "Bro, come on, leave the kid, man. All he wants is to just give you the money and get out," which is totally respectable. But he slits Bryan Cranston's wrist. He grabs his hand, and he just cuts it with a razor. Like, bro, what? He said he wanted out, and you just gonna do that? Like, bro, I swear, the scene, he was like, "Shh, it's over, bro, it's over. It's already over." And then he just bleeds out and dies, and the mob boss walks away. Now, Ryan Gosling's character comes to check on Bryan Cranston, because Bryan Cranston in this film was not that trustworthy, but they were still cool. So he goes over, he sees him dead, and that makes him even more pissed. So, respectfully and totally justified, he ends up deciding to obliterate these guys. Again, respectfully. He ends up finding the original mob boss, right? That put this whole cahoots on. Oh yeah, by the way, the original guy that the husband owed money to, the mob boss killed him because he knew too much. He killed him with a fork. Crazy. But yeah, so Ryan Gosling ends up running this guy off the road, and like killing everyone in the car except him. But but he also fucking rammed his car off a cliff onto the beach. This is Cali Beach. Imagine Los Santos from GTA. That's where we are right now. So bro pulls up, and he climbs down the mountain, and this mobster's so scared, bro. He decides to just run into the ocean, which the wave pushes him back towards Ryan. And Ryan just starts suffocating him. He starts drowning him, waterboarding him in like 1 foot of water. I mean, it was justified, you know? The guy low-key ruined his life. So then the other mob boss calls up Ryan, like, I don't know, like a day after. He's like, yo, let's meet up at this one China shop. We're going to talk it out. You're going to give me the money, and we're going to dip. So Ryan does that. You know, he pulls up. He sits down. He sits down with the mob boss, and he's like, listen, broski. I can only guarantee the woman and the child's safety. Which is like, oh, damn. He's probably going to say that that guy's going to be on a watch list. And then right after I thought that, bro said, you will forever have to look behind your shoulder. I'm like, oh, no, bro. It's over. It's over. So, respectfully, because, you know, Ryan just wants people to be happy. He agrees to it. And he ends up leading the mob boss to his car where the money is. He opens the trunk, the bag of money's in there open, so the guy can see the money. He immediately shanks Ryan, which is like, what? What do we... These mobsters are crazy, bruh. However, Ryan shanks him back. And low-key like 28 stab wound, Detroit become humans him, you know? Editor, pull up the clip of that, by the way. And then he ends up... Mobster ends up dying. Ryan Gosling's bleeding out. He drops the money on the floor next to the mobster, and then he drives off. So now the East Mafia already knows like who took the money, and the guy's dead, so it don't matter. The money's there, guy's corpse is there, problem solved. And then that's it. Ryan just drives into the end credits. We don't know if he dies or not from his wounds. Which, like, that kind of upset me. I wanted to like know, but besides that one little bit, that movie was amazing. I recommend you guys watch it because my explanations for these movies ain't not gonna be the best. I think the best one was probably Drive because I saw it like more recently than Iron Lung and Monty Python. But regardless, all three of those films, all three recommend 100%. Go check them out now, ASAP. Iron Lung. It's definitely a theater experience. Go check it out. Monty Python, you got it free on YouTube. Drive, I don't know, bro. You got to find a way for that because I already have it on DVD. Not many people use DVDs these days. But shoot, man. I mean, that's pretty much it. If you guys want new topics for these videos, these podcasts, go into the Discord server and high key write a suggestion. I'm trying to be as active as I can, so you guys can high key ping me if you want to. I mean, don't ping me unless it's like super important, cause you know I want to be a chill guy. I want to talk to everybody. Yeah, but besides that, you know, I love you all. I hope you guys take my considerations reasonably. You know, I would easily put these movies in like my top 10. Not my top 5 though. My top 5 is like corrupted by Star Wars films. But that's a topic for another day. Unless you guys want to hear it. Alright. I got like another minute left. So I'll give you guys my Star Wars reviews real quick. So obviously sequel trilogy, non-existent there. They low-key butchered it for me. I'm sorry. If you guys like sequels, I'm sorry. But it's just not for me. It's not for me. I'll put the original trilogy next though, because original trilogy, well, not right next to sequel. I put it way above sequel, because you know, oh my god, the original trilogy was awesome, bro. Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, Han, Leia, what a great cast. Ben Kenobi too. But that was like my introduction to Star Wars. That was like when I first saw Darth Vader. That I was so young back then. I called him Dark Vader, but still, he was so cool. I love that guy. Greatest villain of all time. And then, oh my god, above all else, the prequels. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. I love Darth Maul. I love Cad Bane. I love Jango Fett. I love the Clone Troopers. I love the fallen angel aspect of Anakin and like the fight he had with Obi-Wan in Episode 3. It was all amazing. Go watch Star Wars. Go watch Star Wars. I recommend Star Wars. Please? Alright, but I'm out of time now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends so that way I can get money for this. I can do this more often if you pay me. That's pay me. That's it. Bye bye.